would my honourable friend care to take account of those people who commit violence against property, serious violence against property, not with a view to destroying life, but with a view to saving life, such as those women who attacked the Hawke aircraft with hammers, and some of them were acquitted, and the Trident Ploughshare 2000 organisation, which attacks the Trident submarine to save life, not to destroy it. They may be right, they may be wrong, we may have lots of discussion about that, but are they terrorists? But are they terrorists? But are they terrorists?
Tomorrow morning I'm in the Middlesex court defending a woman who put some graffiti outside the House of Commons against nuclear weapons, a very courageous woman. I've known her for years. Now, if you define the damage to property as terrorism, that woman could be a terrorist.
The new definition will not catch the vast majority of so-called domestic activist groups which exist in this country today.
If I was a supporter of Greenpeace, which I am not, or Friends of the Earth, which I am not, and I had it in mind to grub up a field of GM crops or set fire to them, I would in fact say of that act, it is serious violence to property. Now, in respect of all of those characters and individuals, I disapprove of them very strongly. And I'm glad to say that the existing criminal law, in almost every respect, covers their activity. But if I ask myself the question, should they be treated as terrorists, I'm bound to say, no way. No way. No way.
Supposing there was a very major defence contract worth billions of pounds over a large number of years, and let us say a government in the Middle East was exerting pressure on the British government that if they wanted that contract, there would be an expectation that action should be brought against a militant group which may be active in London in terms of conspiring and drawing together the international campaign. I mean, does my honourable friend not believe or foresee circumstances, certainly not under a Labour government, but perhaps under other governments in the future, where that kind of pressure could pay off?
I genuinely don't believe that would happen. Let us assume for a moment that holders of my office, regardless of party, are completely venal and only have an interest in securing this defence contract and no other interest. Let us make that assumption. It would not be a holder of my office or any member of the government who would make the decision about prosecution.
Certainly not under a Labour government, but perhaps under other governments in the future.
I genuinely don't believe that would happen. That would happen.
So this bill will give the police the powers to take a more proactive approach in tackling dangerous and disruptive protests.
Well, through the public order bill that I will be bringing forward, we will see new criminal offences for those disruptive protesters that really bring our country to a grinding halt. So these measures are designed, quite frankly, to act as a deterrent. Well, the right to protest is something that we all cherish dearly, and of course that'll continue. Well, the right to protest is something that we all cherish dearly. So these measures are designed, quite frankly, to act as a deterrent.
the Public Order Act of 2023 will bring in new offences for unacceptably disruptive and damaging protest tactics.
I think it looks terribly obvious to anyone that looks at this that if you take a piece of draconian legislation like the Public Order Bill, rush it through this place via an unelected head of state who gave it consent, hand it to a failing institution like the Metropolitan Police, who then decapitate the leadership of the Republican protest movement, what do you expect? This piece of legislation is doing exactly what it says on the tin. It's stopping peaceful protest.
Now, with regard to protest, what I'd say is, of course, people have the right to protest freely.
Why wouldn't a Labour government repeal the Public Order Act? The whole history of Labour is a history of protest.
Well, I think there are two things going on here. On the one hand, I think most people say the police need powers to deal with Just Stop Oil and some of their tactics. They do need powers to deal with that. But on the other hand, there's a balance to be had, which is to protect free, and peaceful protest.
I beg to move that the Terrorism Act 2000 Proscribed Organisations Amendment Order of 2025, which was laid before the House on the 30th of June, be approved. I'm grateful to the House for its consideration of this draft order, which will see 3 distinct groups proscribed. They are Maniacs Murder Cult, Palestine Action, and the Russian Imperial Movement.
On the question of Palestine Action, you must be aware that very many of us in this chamber think that Palestine Action is in a different category from the other 2 organisations he's seeking to prescribe. And can I ask him, is he aware that several UN special rapporteurs, including those protecting human rights, say that they have contacted the UK government to say that acts of protest that damage property but are not intended to kill or injure people should not be treated as terrorism.
"21 years ago, a human rights barrister stood in court and defended an activist who broke into RAF Fairford trying to disable a bomber to prevent war crimes in Iraq. That case became a landmark in lawful, non-violent direct action against an illegal war. That barrister is now our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, KC. He argued that it was not terrorism but conscience. Fast forward to 20th of June 2025. 2 Palestine Action activists enter RAF Bryce Norton and sprayed red paint, not fire, on aircraft linked to surveillance flights over Gaza. Instead of prosecuting them for criminal damage, which is what normally is done, the Home Secretary is using the Terrorism Act to prescribe them as a terrorist group. To equate a spray can of paint with a suicide bomb isn't just absurd, it is grotesque. It is a deliberate distortion of the law to chill dissent, criminalise solidarity, and suppress the truth. If this order passes, what's next? Climate protesters, striking workers, feminists in the street? To equate a spray can of paint with a suicide bomb isn't just absurd, it is grotesque.
But are they terrorists? But are they terrorists? But are they terrorists?
Certainly not under a Labour government, but perhaps under other governments in the future.
I genuinely don't believe I genuinely don't believe that would happen.
But are they terrorists?
I genuinely don't believe that would happen.
What I will make clear in the law is cumulative disruption is in and of itself a reason to face restrictions. Cumulative disruption is in and of itself a reason to face restrictions.
Well, the right to protest is something that we all cherish dearly.
Balance to be had, which is to protect free, and peaceful protest.
To equate a spray can of paint with a suicide bomb isn't just absurd, it is grotesque.
But are they terrorists?
What's next? Climate protesters, striking workers, feminists in the street? What's next? What's next?
But take into account that we may not be in government one day. It may be the authoritarian right, and they will take this further and faster and deeper than we ever have. So we should be putting in fire guards now, protecting our democracy, protecting our democracy.
What's next? What's next? What's next?